Our first news segment comes from USNI News. I recommend everyone go to usni.org for more news like this. It's a really good website, one that I'm a member of as well. I support them whenever I can. All right, our first story is US and UK F35s drilled together in the Western Pacific. This is really cool. Here you can see a picture of the F-35B Lightning II on the deck of the Queen Elizabeth. From the piece, written by Mr. Dizran Mahadariz. He does a lot of our Turkish stories too. All right, from the piece says, aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson flew interoperability exercise over the Philippine Sea on August 26 with U.S. Marine Corps, Royal Air Force F-35 Bravo Lightning II Joint Strike Fighters from the UK Royal Navy's Queen Elizabeth Carrier Group 21. The Queen Elizabeth has been at sea for a long time. Like they must be going on to month 3 now, being deployed in the Pacific, at least since July. So I guess this being September would be the 3rd month. Yeah, long deployment for them. Great to see. Okay, 4 Navy F-35C Strike Fighter Squadrons VFA 147 and 5 FA 18EF Super Hornets assigned to Strike Fighter Squadrons VF2 and 192 with EA Growlers from Electronic Attack Squadron with some E2 Advanced Hawkeyes. Awesome. A lot of planes, essentially, all working together, flying together, conducting an exercise. The exercise was one of the largest deployed collections of 5th-generation fighters, as both the U.S. and the U.K. have begun operating their F-35s in the Western Pacific. In addition to the aircraft on the Vinson, Marine F-35Bs embarked on the American Amphibious Ready Group are operating in the region as well. So we have a huge show of force going on, and it's been going on all summer. I have to give a tip of the hat to the Pentagon, to the powers that be, all the way up to the administration, to the commander-in-chief for putting this together. This has been a relentless show of force for months now off the coast of Taiwan, Philippine Sea, South China Sea. We've been having, either an exercise that's active, engaging with many nations in that region, or even without a major exercise going on, working together with other fleets in that region, bringing a lot of firepower into the Pacific Rim to try and just demonstrate that we're there to enforce international law and order. As much as China wants to go against that, we're there standing up for the status quo. We want the situation with Taiwan and the South China Sea to remain as is, status quo, where China wants to change the status quo and pretty much claim everything. Like there's no bound to their greed, to how much they just want to claim. And we're preventing it peacefully with a show of force. And what's really impressed me is not us sending a fleet out there and working with the Australians and in this case also the Royal Navy. It's our consistency. We've been deployed and doing something every single day with many ships, involving land-based aircraft and aircraft carrier-based aircraft. And it's been great to see. All right, so the Vinson arrived at fleet activities at Yokosuka, Japan in August 28th for a scheduled port visit. The strike group then was deployed since August 2nd from San Diego. Yeah, and she has a bunch of these destroyers with her. Look at this group. Oh, this is so good. Let's do this. Let's take a look at this. This is from Commander UK Carrier Strike Group. Man, he's tweeting this stuff from the deck of his ship or something. Look at this. Look at the South Korean ship here. That is nice. All right, we got some Pinnacle Hat boys there. We got a big old UK carrier. You can see some rust lines. She's been at sea a while, so she's going to need some paint whenever she gets home. There's the South Korean amphibious ship. That's an American destroyer. And here's one of the oilers that you just watched us sink in cold waters right there. Look at that. Beautiful ships. Oh my word. And that's without the Carl Vinson Carrier Group. That's just these ships. All right, let's get back to the piece. I get distracted. I just love why it's so beautiful. The UK Carrier Strike Group 21 consists of the Queen Elizabeth and embarked aircraft that include the Wake Island Avengers, U.S. Marine Corps Fighter Attack Squadron, VMFA 211. That's cool that we have a Marine Corps, Fighter Attack Squadron on board a Royal Navy vessel. Like our planes, our pilots on their ship. That's really cool. And just about everybody else. Look at all these, the HMS Kent, the Richmond, the Tidespring, the Sullivans, the Diamond, so many ships in this fleet. Anyway, doing great stuff there in the Western Pacific, continuing to show our forces are, ready, able, and willing in September. Now, what do you guys think of our operating with the Royal Navy for such a long period of time? Let's see. Manifold says, I didn't realize the F-35B on the Queen E are part of the RAF and not the Royal Navy. Yeah, probably. I don't get that far into the weeds of who owns what. We just read in the piece that we also have some United States Marine Corps planes, implying pilots as well, operating off of them. Ozzy the Weasel says, have you seen the new British submarine series, Vigil? I have not. A lot of people have asked me if I've watched that TV show. I don't get BBC where I live, so I can't watch it. I don't have... If it comes to Amazon Prime, like Prime Video, I'll watch it then. I'll give it a shot. Yeah. Black Destroyer says, what's the Astute deployed? There was an Astute deployed with the QE2. Yeah, I mean, you could probably see a picture of the Astute in one of these pictures, but it's probably submerged, right? So, we're not going to see that. Derp to the Face says, it's good to keep showing the Brits how to win wars. Oh, man, here we go. Okay, let's move on from that. You guys are getting wild in chat. It is Friday. I get it. All right. Navalnews.com. Great website. Support this website too. This is from Xavier. Xavier's a very good journalist. He writes in this piece, Philippines and U.S. Coast Guard conduct joint maritime exercise. So with everything else that's going on in the Pacific, near the Philippines, we have our Coast Guard and their Coast Guard working together, enforcing fishing enforcement and other things that Coast Guards do. Let's go ahead and read from the piece, though. The Philippine Coast Guard, PCG, and U.S. Coast Guard, USCG, have conducted a joint maritime exercise in the vicinity of waters off Subic Bay, Zambales. Unit under the task force, including BRP, Gabriella Singh. I just bailed on that word. I was like, nope. Okay, so they basically have a lot of these ships here. They got the Cinderang, the Capones, the PCG Man, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources vessel, which sounds a lot like a civilian vessel, and an Airbus helicopter with them as well, doing their patrol. The U.S. Coast Guard, on the other hand, we have the cutter Monroe and unmanned aircraft systems Scan Eagle. Oh, they've got one of those cool, it's like a helicopter, but it's an unmanned helicopter. Okay. Members of the PCG joined the U.S. Coast Guard and as they launched their UAS to aid in an SAR operation. SAR is going to be search and rescue, SAR operation. So joint maritime exercises anchored in the Philippines. The United States cooperation to promote security and enhance law enforcement interoperability in the country's maritime jurisdiction. So look at them. They're blowing little rainbows at each other with their little fire hoses. That's a very coasty thing to do. This is why they're not warships. Like if war ever kicks off, we got to send the Coast Guard back to the United States. Because look, they're making little rainbows at each other. I'm so proud of you. From the piece, as the maritime security challenges in the Indo-Pacific region become increasingly complex, partnering with our Coast Guard counterparts is a vital part to shared interest in a free and open maritime environment, says Captain Novak. Meanwhile, the commander of U.S. Coast Guard Pacific Area, Vice Admiral McAllister, emphasized a strong bilateral relationship with PCG and USCG is rooted in a deep abiding interest in a rules-based international order. And that's going back to the false or illegal claims by China in the South China Sea, trying to claim islands, going against the rules-based international order. The order that we have now, the status quo, is based on international rules and laws that must be enforced. And we're willing to enforce it. We don't want to get into a shooting war over it, but we've got assets in place to do just that if China should want to jump. We'll see if they feel froggy. John Bloor says, I'd say that that was fighting words for the Coast Guard, that they just shoot rainbows back at you. I know, right? Hey, it's been so hot here lately. I'll take a rainbow bath. I'm probably going to regret saying that. I don't know what a rainbow bath may mean to today's kids. So, yeah, we're just going to move on.